So it's officially cold and rainy here in Southern California, and luckily I got one more dive in before the storm. And before I send you to my catch and cook of my very first Cabezon, I'm going to tell you a little story about an epic battle that I had with a lobster. So many of you guys that have dove or have been out there lobster diving, you know the various perils that you get, everything from deep caves to just purple urchin encrusted caves to misjudging where a lobster is, smashing your hand into the side of the rock instead of the actual lobster, that kind of stuff. So I'm actually diving. The viz isn't great. It's pretty rough out there, and I'm coming over a reef. It's only about 2 feet deep, and there's a crack. And in this crack is a big lobster, probably about 2 pounds. And he's just sitting in there, and there's sea urchins all along the top of it. But I'm like, okay, I think I can get this. So I dive down real quick. Don't have to dive too far. It's only 2 feet. And I grab the lobster. Yeah, I've got him. He's in there, but he curls his tail and makes it impossible for me to pull him out. And so I have to go get some air, but I'm also cutting up my hands on all the sea urchin. So I'm like, okay, a couple of the sea urchin fall in. He's crawling back out into the more open area of the crack. So I go back down. I clear a couple of the sea urchins again. I grab him again. I've got him. This time I pulled him out a little bit further, but he clenches in again, and I just can't get him free. All right. A couple sea urchins wedge themselves above him, so I can't even grab him now. He's trying to get out. He can't get out either. And so I go back up, come back down, and now I'm just clearing out all the sea urchins. There's like 10 or 15 sea urchins there. Clean them all away from this crack so I can actually get this thing. I go back down one more time to grab the lobster. I go down and I grab him, and I'm like, God, this feels smaller. I'm like, what the heck's going on? So this time I pull him out. I'm like, this is awesome. I swim up, I measure him. I'm like, he's small. So I let him go. He wasn't legal size. And I looked down, and sure enough, the big lobster that I had been fighting, somehow they switched when I went up for air the third or fourth time. They switched positions. The little guy came on top. I grabbed him. The big one took off from the crack. How sucky is that? It was probably about a 2-pound lobster. Would have been awesome. Definitely a keeper, and all that epic battle to get him, and I come out with one that was about that short. So pretty funny story. Actually, quite a few lobsters still out there, but now to the catch and cook. Cheers. A bit rough out there today, but first rockfish, beautiful fish. It's gonna be some tasty fish tacos, I think, and just a good day out here. So I only had about half a pound of mussels, but I did half an onion, 3 cloves of garlic, sauteed them until they were very translucent, then added fresh parsley, crushed tomatoes, thyme, and red pepper flakes. Let it sit semi-uncovered for 25 to 30 minutes. So I went and shot a Cabezon yesterday, and also on the way I picked up some mussels. So I'm going to make some poor man's lobster with the rockfish, and we're going to make a little bit of mussels in here. Okay, so for the poor man's lobster, so I've got my rockfish. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cook it real quickly in some oil, bring it back out, and then I'm going to add my butter, melt it down, put some garlic in it, and add some paprika to it. And after that, throw the fish back in, and we are just going to poach the fish in the butter. There we go. So all I want to do is quickly cook it on both sides, because basically when I'm poaching it in the butter, it's going to cook it the rest of the way. So like I said, you're going to only poach the fish for a couple minutes. Once it's out, it is absolutely amazing. It really is poor man's lobster. And then here's the the steamed mussels and a tomato sauce, absolutely fantastic. But look what's around the corner. That's Sadie wondering why I had no fish for her. Don't worry, I did give her a little bit of the leftovers from the Cabezon, so she's good to go. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Tap or click to subscribe if you want to see more videos, and hit like if you like this video. Thanks for checking this out. Cheers.